It's Freestyle Friday, where almost anything goes. Be ready for almost any type of topic or subject. We're liable to talk about anything. There's Jolene. She says hello. Hey, Jolene.
Hey, Jolene.
See the comments.
Jolene, do you have
Hey,
anything you want
friend.
to talk about?
But I'm like a couple minutes behind, but oh my.
Ooh, don't do that anymore. I can't stand that echo.
Okay, no. So I'm gonna watch you guys on my phone
Yeah.
and listen to you on my tablet. That's what we're gonna do. So this way I can see everybody. Okay. Okay. Whatever works, right?
Yeah, whatever works. So,
Whatever works. Okay, we'll do it this way then.
so I went Wednesday. Says Sheila's watching again. I went I went Wednesday and had
They look nice.
new teeth. So it is, the old folks used to call them store-bought teeth. But I've always had trouble with teeth all of my life, and so I just went ahead and took the plunge, and I said, let's just get all the bad ones. Jolene says fasting through hard times. Wonderful subject. And that was part of what I had to come home Wednesday night, and they put the immediate denture in after they had pulled 4 teeth. And my mouth is still a little bit sore, but you know what? I think the autophagy and everything from fasting is really helping, because when I went back to the dentist yesterday, I walked in there and he stood there and he said, "Well, how are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing great." He said, and it was like he was surprised that I didn't have any complaints about anything rubbing or swelling. And he said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah, I'm serious." I said, "Everything's fine." I said, "It's just having to eat some softer foods." And so I really think that intermittent fasting is helping with this whole process that I'm going through. So Jolene, there's fasting through hard times, just like you put up the comment. Could y'all see her comment?
I did. I saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's helping. I'm sure it's helping. Your body's just trying to heal itself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
Free medicine, right?
yeah. So
Free medicine. We'll take it.
Sheila,
We'll take it.
have you fasted through hard times?
Yes. And I tell you what, I talked about this before, but I started intermittent fasting in 2020, right at the beginning, before the whole pandemic started. And I'd already been in like 3 months in, and it just made it that much easier to fast, because that was one thing I had control over, is when I was going to eat. So yeah, and I used to be the kind of person that would, if I'd get upset or worried about something, I would turn to food, and I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's something to be said. You just hit the nail on the head.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing that was constant in your life that you could count on.
Mm-hmm.
And we never know when hard times are going to hit.
That's right.
We never know when we're going to get sick, or when a loved one's going to die, or a pet's going to die, or something like that. But we can always go back to what we know and fast, and that's a constant in our lives. And I'm glad for that. I really am. Ooh, I just knocked over my I've got so much going on here, it's a crime show. Hang on, let me see. No, let me see. I'll show y'all. Let me see. There we go. All right.
Did something break?
There's my wife's tablet, her iPad. Here's my iPad. There's one computer screen. There's another computer screen. And I'm just like trying to keep track of all of this at one time. That's where I do my painting and stuff.
Goodness, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh,
You're a busy guy.
You want to see some of my paintings?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is where I do painting. Here's a wood burning. This is a colorized wood burning. That is the end screen from the Andy Griffith Show.
Neat.
Oh, wow.
There's
Wow.
the sweetest little, kindest
Aw,
little woman in the world.
that's such a pretty picture.
Yeah. Here is one of my waves, ocean waves that I did.
Beautiful.
Here's one of Vicky's awesome blankets or quilts that she makes.
That is so nice.
She
Nice.
just,
That's a lot of work.
yes, it
That's a
is.
lot of work.
Okay. And then there's a lighthouse that I did. There's another tree.
Nice.
Here's a little
Beautiful.
ladybug, a little wood burnt and colorized ladybug. There's a painting I call Blue Moon. There's a nice little mushroom. If you watch the movie Dune, that's Moadib looking at the sandworm. But those are, oh, and here's a nice saw blade.
Jolene says we watch Andy Griffith almost every night.
Andy Griffith is just one of the best shows that's ever been filmed. I mean, they just don't have. I like that, and I like MASH.
Oh yeah.
You ever watch
Yes.
Oh, God.
MASH?
I remember MASH.
MASH.
Yeah.
MASH is good, and then me and Vicky love Downton Abbey.
I never watched that one.
Mhm.
You need to watch
Nice.
Downton Abbey.
Okay.
If you ever do, you'll get addicted to it. And I tell you, our favorite show right now, and we just finished up watching it for the second time through 4 seasons, and they're filming season 5 right now. It's called All Creatures Great and Small.
Huh.
It is one of the best
It's like
things
the
that's ever been.
ocean, that kind of thing? Like ocean creatures and like,
No,
like no?
it's a true
everything?
story. It's a true story about a veterinarian back in before World War II, and he's over in England, and he goes to work for another vet because he's just coming out of school, and he goes to work for this experienced vet. And Jolene says that Downton Abbey is so good. It is so good.
I guess I need to start
But
watching it.
Jolene,
Yeah.
if you ever watch All Creatures Great and Small, the new one, not the old one, they had filmed another one in 1980 something, and it wasn't nearly as good. The new one, it's on PBS Masterpiece. Oh my goodness, so good. But Downton Abbey, yeah, if you've never watched that, yeah, see, All Creatures Great and Small is also one of my favorites.
Okay. There you
But
go.
Andy Griffith is good too. You just can't hardly get better TV than that. So back to, like I said, this is Freestyle Friday. Anything goes.
Mhm.
So Daniela, what you cooking for supper?
I haven't decided. It's either going to be fish. I have a couple of branzinos I'll probably just put in the oven. Some salad, some vegetables, fresh asparagus. Good to go.
I love asparagus.
Yeah, me too.
How do you cook
I
it?
make it with a little bit of butter and Parmesan. I broil it in the oven, like I'll bake it in the oven with a little bit of butter and Parmesan cheese.
Uh-huh. Can I come over and get
That's it, a
some?
little bit of salt. Yeah, absolutely. Amazon, FedEx, see if it works.
Yeah. Well,
Never know.
let me show y'all this. Let me see if I can walk outside and show you this. I'm growing something that I've never grown before. Okay. And
Okay.
me and Vicky are experimenting with new and different things. And so, hang on. Let me swap it around here. Here, you see my mailbox?
Yes.
Okay. And that's where Vicky keeps her tools. And this is our
Neat.
bucket. Yeah, this is our bucket garden. And these are, look, green beans in these
Oh,
2 buckets. And then in this bucket, it's starting to bloom. Here's that's some bell pepper. And then I've got Roma tomatoes coming on. And these buckets.
this.
But here's the thing I've never really grown before. There's some more bell pepper. Everything's growing in buckets. Here's
Look at that. Wow.
3 different kinds of tomatoes, and they're going to grow up that
Oh
thing
man,
there.
nothing beats homegrown tomatoes. Nothing.
I know.
Nothing is better than homegrown tomatoes.
And
Oh my
down,
gosh.
and down in here in my rain barrel, there's goldfish. But this is what I've never grown before. You know what
is
that
that?
is? Those are
Cabbage?
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels
Oh,
sprouts. Wow.
there you go.
Okay. Look
So
at
we're growing Brussels
that.
sprouts for the first time. And look at this little bit of green bean area, and it's so cute. And then we got more tomatoes coming on where I'm rooting some more. But that's it. And
Wow.
you can
Look at that.
probably hear one of my hens has laid an egg. So she's back there honking and carrying on. So
That's so nice.
but then of
Oh
course
wow.
you got my
Nothing beats a home garden.
yeah.
Awesome.
This is my backyard out here in the
Do you have any
woods.
fruit besides? I saw you have peaches. Do you have anything else besides peaches? Do you do like strawberries or any other fruit
We
tree?
got some apple trees. These are my
Apple trees.
mama's
Okay.
rows. But
Wow.
we have apple trees, but they're not real. I
Your
guess
backyard's beautiful.
yeah, we like it out here.
Look at the roads. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
We have apple trees, but I don't think they're old enough yet. I think apple trees have to be like 8 or 10 years old before they'll start making fruit. So
Okay. Where they start growing. Okay.
yeah, so
Beautiful.
but that's it.
Nice.
So Sheila, what you gonna have for supper?
We are having, we made cheeseburger quesadillas this week, and we're having leftovers tonight. And I'm
Nice.
going to have sweet potatoes with it. I
Oh,
love sweet
Nice.
potatoes.
we had sweet potato fries the other night.
Yes, those are so good.
Oh,
Nice.
I love sweet potato fries.
Yeah. So tonight's just
Nice.
kind of like leftovers.
Yeah, we do that a lot. Well, Wednesday
Very,
night I had
very nice.
grits and eggs. And then last night I ventured forth. I said, well, maybe I can chew something more solid. So I had a bowl of chili. And
Wow. Okay.
Vicky took some of the peaches that I had picked. I'm going to pick more today because there's more ripe out there. And she made a wonderful, wonderful peach cobbler.
I made apple cobbler this morning.
Oh,
So good.
I love a good cobbler or a good,
Mm-hmm.
or a good fruit pie, like an apple pie or a
Mm-hmm.
peach pie or something
Yeah.
like that.
Crumble
So,
apple. I never understood the difference between apple cobbler and apple crumble. I think
yeah,
they're basically the same. I think it's just a different name, but I think it's the same thing
yeah,
almost.
yeah, I like an apple crumble. I don't see
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody else is joined onto the thing or not, but okay. Well, this has been
It
fun,
has been.
Yes, it
and
has been.
And I've enjoyed
maybe,
seeing you, Daniela.
Same. I love all your pictures. I love your story. You're very, very inspirational to me and just to a lot of people because your story is
Thank you.
wonderful. It really, really is. And I think that it does inspire a lot of people not to give up, just to hang in there and just to take it, slow and steady. It's not a race. It doesn't have to be something that's done in 5 minutes. So absolutely. And you're just in there every day, every single day. And consistency is the key, right? That's all. It's just every day, every single day. That's it. In and out, in and out.
I keep
Rinse, repeat.
I keep reminding myself of that because, I lost so much weight really quickly with the ADF and everything when I first started into
Mm-hmm.
this. And now it's just like, okay, am I going to lose any weight this week? And, I got to the point where I said, so what?
Mm-hmm.
So what? I'm
Mm-hmm.
fasting and I'm healthy and I've got my health and things are going my way. So whenever the weight does
Mm-hmm.
drop off, it'll drop off. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
not worried about it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's so nice to
Mm-hmm.
So,
not chasing a number anymore.
oh my goodness.
And
Yes.
just being
You know,
Yes.
happy and feeling good where you are in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel better now that I've felt in the last 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's saying something, you know.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
And
Says
Jolene,
everything.
yeah, Sheila, she's one of those that's aging backwards, her and Dan. I really enjoyed those pictures that you posted of the two of
Thank you.
you this morning. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
good. And
Mm-hmm.
it's so good to have your partner on board with you.
you're
You know?
absolutely correct.
Yeah, Vicky's on board with me. I mean, we looked at each other the other night and it was just like we both knew the same thing at the same time. We looked at each other and said, we need to tighten our windows up. And, you know, it's like we both, and it wasn't because we stepped on the scale or anything like that. It was just because you can feel it in your body.
Feel it. Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
the craziest thing, isn't it?
It
Mm-hmm.
is.
Just the craziest thing.
Okay, I have a question.
All right.
Mike, real quick.
Yeah.
Is that toilet
Yeah.
paper hanging on the wall?
Oh. Hang on.
Behind you.
Okay.
What is?
You want to see that's paper towels.
Okay, I thought it was toilet paper.
No, I keep paper towels, and they're right below some of my musical instruments and my Harley Davidson parking sign. And
Okay.
oh gosh, I got so much stuff. This is my bookshelf for my fasting books. You can see what I've got on there. I got Fast, Feast, Repeat. I've got Jason Fung's book. I've got the Fasting Highways on there. And then, of course, my little old book over there. And then over here on this bookshelf, I've got all the other books that I've written.
That is amazing. You're remarkable.
Awesome.
No,
How you do everything, I don't know. With everything that you do, you're like constantly doing something.
Well, I do a lot of stuff, but that thing right there has kicked my butt like there's no tomorrow. It's one of the very few musical instruments that I've ever picked up that I said, I just don't know if I'll ever be able to play that. It's that violin is really, it's very difficult, but.
Beautiful.
Okay. Any more questions?
Is this your man cave or is this part of your house?
This is the cave. Hang on.
This is your man cave. Okay.
Well, no, it's a he-she cave.
No?
Okay, this is my corner.
Oh. Okay.
This is in the corner of a 20 by 20 garage that we converted over.
Oh,
And
okay.
so there's my wall. Okay. Has my daddy's barometer set and all that on there. That's my wall.
Wow.
Then over there's 3 of Vicky's other sewing machines up there. There's the doorway into the rest of the house, TV on the wall. And then that corner over there, that's Vicky's. That's where she does all of her quilting and everything like that.
Okay.
And
so you split it up a little bit for you, a little bit for her.
Yeah, there's one of my guitars there. Now this guitar here, Daniela, this guitar has been to Europe. It's been to Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's been to Ukraine 2 different times. It's
Well,
flown
listen,
through
you
Germany.
spoke the other day about Ukraine. Do you have family there? Is that why you go visit? You have relatives, or is it just a country that you enjoy to go and visit?
No, Vicky and I, hang on. Let me show you this.
Beautiful.
You see those? Those,
Love
Mm-hmm.
the children.
those are like magnetic signs. Okay. And Vicky and I had a nonprofit 501c3 for about 10 years. And we flew back and forth to Ukraine, to Crimea, and worked with orphans, supported them, helped them financially. Went over there and we would spend 2 or 3 weeks at a time with them. Used up all my vacation just for orphans and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started with orphans down in Mexico, and we had 3 different orphanages down there that desperately needed support, and we supported them. We made 2 trips a year driving back and forth. And so that's that answers your question.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Would you bring the kids back to the States to like help be adopted, or do they stay in their country?
Well, one of the partner organizations that we worked with was they have a ministry where they would bring Ukrainian orphans who were really true orphans who had no parents, and they would bring them to the States and let people meet them and adopt them and all like that. Now, Vicki and I, we've run across a bunch of kids that we wanted to adopt ourselves, but we never did. But we always just helped them. And then we got to a certain point where we just couldn't make the trips anymore. So there was another couple who said, we'll take over. And so we let them take over the ministry. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wonderful. That's wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
that's
Well, I'm sure you helped a lot of children who needed it. That's for sure.
so I would
Right.
take, I bought that guitar, this guitar here, specifically. You see my shoes there. You bought that guitar specifically because it was small enough to fit in an overhead on an airplane.
Oh, okay.
That's why I bought
There you go.
that guitar. And because I didn't want to trust my guitar in the, in the luggage bay.
In the baggage thing, huh?
Oh gosh, because they're horrible,
Oh yeah.
So I would carry it on. So that guitar has been to Mexico, it's been to Ukraine, it's been all over the world. So
Wow.
and played
That's awesome.
and entertained, and
That's awesome.
that's just.
You
And
should write a book just about your life.
Yeah, really.
Besides intermittent fasting, you should write a book about everything that you've done.
well,
That's your next project, right?
I kind of have, and it's available on Amazon too.
Well,
Okay.
of course.
It's called. Hang on, let me see. You're making me
You'll
dig
plug your
deep.
book.
So this.
Well, you said any questions.
Yeah. So here we go. It's called Sojourner: The Life and Times of Michael Saunders, and it starts from when I was a little boy, and
See that?
and goes, and it's on Amazon. Gosh, okay, you want to go through all my books? This is a book, in case you were wondering. It's written for young people who were, if you're wondering about the Bible, it tells you this is the path, walking through the wilderness. This is my journey from when I was very young and found Christ to where I am now. And it covers a lot of topics. Then we have all my journals that I wrote, but then we also, this right here is my trilogy. It's Lord of Honor, Crossed Swords, and Kings Without Crowns. That's a pure fantasy fiction. It's not religious or anything like that. Then I have a book, Walking Backwards. I have Discipleship, What Happened. On and on.
Wow.
I've got about
Did you write your first book?
my first book that I ever wrote was
How old were
Walking.
you?
This was 12, 13 years ago. I wrote Walking
Okay,
Backwards.
so it's not like you've been writing. Okay, I thought maybe you started like when you were like getting young.
No. So.
Okay. Well, then you've written a lot then. You've been busy.
I've got 18 books at Amazon.
Jeez. Well,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah. And the ones
That's a
that
lot.
I've written here in the recent, besides intermittent fasting for the win, has been biblical fiction. I really got into that, like retelling the stories of the Bible, but adding in some fictional characters to make it like and I really really got into doing that. And
Mhm.
so, some
Oh,
of
that's
those are
interesting.
doing, yeah, yeah. Any
That's
more
really interesting.
questions?
What are you having for dinner tonight?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
You got to get through lunch. You guys are almost not even at lunchtime. I'm almost at dinner time.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what we'll probably have some leftovers because I'm sure there's left. And Vicky,
Okay.
listen. That's one of the wonderful things about having chickens
Yeah.
is if you get tired
Never
of
run
the
out of dinner ideas, right?
well, no, if you get tired of the leftovers, the chickens will eat it.
Oh, okay.
There, there is never any food that goes in a garbage can around the Saunders household.
And didn't I hear you
Okay.
tell Graham on your podcast with Graham talking about you fed the leftover Chinese food to the
Oh,
chickens? Do I remember that story
absolutely.
correctly?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I remember
Oh God.
that.
That's
And
so
what?
funny. How many do you have?
Uh, Let me see. We got 14 babies that are about
Wow.
6 or 7 weeks old, and then we've got about 12. I think about 12 adults,
Okay.
and
Oh wow.
we get around 7 or 8 eggs every day, something like that. And
That's
How
awesome.
cool is that?
those
How cool
fresh
is that?
eggs. Sheila,
Not in the refrigerator.
Sheila, if you're ever if you're ever close to me, come get some
I
eggs.
absolutely will.
And there is nothing like a good fresh egg. And
Oh
they're not
gosh, yeah.
refrigerated, Danielle.
There you go.
So,
Absolutely. No, no. See, that's why I sent you the picture yesterday. I started to laugh when I got to the supermarket. Well, I gotta take this picture for Mike and send it to him.
yeah, you get eggs from us. You might have to wash a little bit of poop off of them, but hey,
Oh gosh.
but hey, that's just the way it is.
I know.
Listen, you
What can
guys,
you do?
this is a blast. Love both of y'all so much. And
Enjoy
Same, same. Everybody have a nice
all right,
weekend.
too.
I think
Enjoy.
I think
Have a good weekend.
all right, y'all too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye, Jolene. Bye.